I have just accepted the invitation of Her Majesty the Queen to form a government. This will be a new government with new priorities. And I have been privileged to have been granted the great opportunity to serve my country. And at all times, I will be strong in purpose, steadfast in will, resolute in action, in the service of what matters to the British people, meeting the concerns and aspirations of our whole country. I grew up in the town that I now represent in Parliament. I went to the local school. I wouldn't be standing here without the opportunities that I received there. And I want the best of chances for everyone. That is my mission, that if we can fulfill the potential and realize the talents of all our people, then I am absolutely sure that Britain can be the great global success story of this century.
He runs the country and is one of the most famous men in Britain. But to many of us, he remains a complete mystery. So just who is the man behind the headlines?
He has a temper, that's true. He can go up, in a whoosh, if he's cross or if somebody's stopping him from doing something.
I know he's tough as a negotiator, but I also think a secret weapon with him is actually humour.
He's a man who loves his work, loves football, books, friends, loves people, and loves our family.
But the private man suffers in public, and it's all about presentation.
Gordon Brown is seen being kind of not quite comfortable in his own skin, socially gauche, when some famous person, or particularly their wives, come to Downing Street to visit, and he's meant to do the kind of air kissing on each cheek. I mean, he just doesn't get it.
And it's not just the wrong type of kissing. He's often at the wrong place at the wrong time.
He's not a man, in my view, who you can just spin for television.
His advisors have tried to get him to smile more, a strategy that hasn't always been successful.
He tries to look spontaneous. It doesn't work. He went on YouTube. Instead of smiling at the camera, he was gurning at the camera.
The problem was that he forgot he had to smile, then he remembered he had to smile, and he smiled in all the wrong places. Your uncle is dead. Smile.
They put him in these situations, and he cannot cope, because he is not really built for the modern, telegenic, 24-hour media age in the way that Blair, the great actor, certainly was.
Politicians are not meant to be slick salesmen. They're not meant to be, smooth TV presenters. They're meant to be good at running the country.
Success comes in all shapes and sizes and different ways of doing things. And he is what he is. And my feeling is that he's always at his best when he's at his most authentic, actually.
It was a very personal decision. I just knew I couldn't wake up on Friday and say something which I didn't think was the case. So I said what I said. I stand by it. Of course, I can be happy if I turn out to be proven wrong and Gordon Brown leads the Labour Party to victory at the next election.
In the end, no one followed Mr Pennell's lead and the plot to oust Mr Brown fizzled out. At a meeting with Labour MPs last night, he did face some calls to resign. He refused, but admitted making mistakes and promised more consultation with colleagues. These are the ones who decided to stay and help keep the Prime Minister in his job. The newly reshuffled cabinet met today in the wake of dire election results and searing criticism of Gordon Brown's leadership.
How's the Prime Minister today?
The Prime Minister now is to prove he's not damaged goods, limping inevitably towards a general election defeat. In the coming weeks, he'll announce new policies on the Constitution, more measures to rescue the economy, and plans for reforms to public services, including schools and hospitals. The Foreign Secretary, once regarded as a leadership contender, insists it's policies, not personalities, that matter.
The difference in our policy and his policy is we thought of it and he stole it. Now, while we're on this mission in pursuit of the truth, let's try another one on the Prime Minister. Will he look across the dispatch box and tell us he wasn't looking at the polls when he cancelled the general election?
As you know, the general election left no party able to command a majority in the House of Commons. I said I would do all that I could to ensure a strong, stable and principled government was formed, able to tackle Britain's economic and political challenges effectively. My constitutional duty is to make sure that a government can be formed following last Thursday's general election. I've informed the Queen's private secretary that it's my intention to tender my resignation to the Queen. In the event that the Queen accepts, I shall advise her to invite the Leader of the Opposition to seek to form a government. I wish the next Prime Minister well as he makes the important choices for the future. Only those who have held the office of Prime Minister can understand the full weight of its responsibilities and its great capacity for good. I have been privileged to learn much about the very best in human nature, and a fair amount too about its frailties, including my own. Above all, it was a privilege to serve, and yes, I loved the job, not for its prestige, its titles and its ceremony, which I do not love at all. No, I loved the job for its potential to make this country I love fairer, more tolerant, more green, more democratic, more prosperous and more just, truly a greater Britain. In the face of many challenges in a very few short years, challenges up to and including the global financial meltdown, I have always strived to serve, to do my best in the interests of Britain, its values and its people.